Welcome everyone tonight to the Ucrl Firebreathers Throwback Cup. These are the Gen 4 ARCA car. Well, not really ARCA. Well, I guess it is. I mean, it's
Gen
not
4
ARCA
Cup.
anymore, but, you know.
Yeah.
So, is it 850 or 900 horsepower? I've heard both. I know it's a pile of power.
900. I want to say 900.
So, coming at you from virtual Rockingham Raceway to here tonight. My name is John. We got Tyler in the booth. Carl was having a little bit of that Pennsylvania internet trouble. So, yeah, I guess there's a storm there or something. Maybe the wind picked up. Always going to give Carl a hard time about that. But looking here today, track temperature 85, 66 degrees. So, not too terribly bad here. Let's see what... get some of the stuff pulled up here. There we go. Having to pull a old overlay out of the trash here for this. So looks like a little past noon here for qualifying. So probably see that track temperature climb a little bit as we go on through the session here. So we'll hide that back away. And let's see. Looks like Jeff Byers is still here out on track.
Of course.
Is that a Metallica paint job? Ride the Lightning?
Is that? Hold on.
I
think it is. Wow.
Or
I like that.
or at least it's supposed to look like Metallica. Hard to read the thing there. Is I will also pull up her dashboard here because I know these old Gen 4s, they were fast. Well, of course, as he slows down. But we will
They're not easy.
No, we have just about, I think, about another 10 seconds here before qualifying will be over. You can see over there on your left, looks like Tommy Ryan is leading your provisional pole position with a 23.563. So, that's moving a little bit here as we, let's see kind of what, because we have no drivers, it won't let me do.
That'll make sense.
Well, it's stuck on the scenic cam. So you can see
there.
all the nice pit stuff there, which if you notice is through the corner. So when you're launching that car out, you're kind of turning at the same time. And with all that power on tap under your foot, it's not easy. I've run one Gen 4 league, and it was a handful. I know that Scott does the setups for this league, and from what I've heard, it's made a few changes, tried to make them a little easier to drive, although, this was the era of NASCAR when easy to drive wasn't a thing. I mean, we're talking about, this would be similar to like 1991 or 1989 back in Formula One with Senna and the 1,500 horsepower qualifying trim F1 cars, massive turbo. They have all the power, not a ton of downforce, and the brakes are two pieces of wood trying to not catch fire.
That's a comparison I haven't heard before.
So pulling up our. Oh, yeah. I like this ticker, but I do have to turn it off for certain things. So, looks like Tommy Ryan is, in fact, taking the pole with that 23.563. J.P. Phillips in second. Grady Gherkin in third. Andrew Ratcliffe will be starting in fourth. And actually, there we go. We can kind of see some of these guys here. Justin Kirby starting in fifth. Matthew Simmons in sixth. Jeff Byers in seventh. Christopher in eighth. Jake Loesch in ninth. Scott Bolster in 10th. Tim Glass starting in 11th. Chris Bouchard starting in 12th. And we have one more. There we go. Jeff Ryan starting in 13th. So it looks like we got to, let's see, kind of tell where some of these guys are from here. Got a couple of Southern boys from down in Georgia. Some Carolinas. A little Indiana. Yeah. Decent little representation, but it appears everybody is American according to the flag that they have selected.
That's nice.
Well, over in Core, we got some Canadians here and there, but let me see if I can find my starter cam here. Also pull up the track map here, and we should, okay, so they're on the back stretch. There we go. Run through some of these cameras we got here. So that's kind of a neat one there. See some tire warming going on there in the back.
Man, just this camera angle. Look at that banking in these corners.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't get over it of how wild this track is.
Oh yeah, you were saying,
Like, there you go, Exhibit A.
and then this. There you go.
Whew,
The good old
my
fashioned digger
goodness.
cam.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The exit of
All
4
right.
as Barney has the green flag out,
Green, green, green.
and we are green. And as always, Barney a little slow to drop that flag. So go through some of our TV views here, see which one we're going to wind up using for the race here. So we got Barry in the chat looking like he's pulling for Grady Gherkin. Grady, I know, can be very fast. He's one of those guys that maybe not doesn't always qualify at the top, but does a really good job of watching out for his tires. Oh, that
That's
was
the
Tommy
pole
Ryan.
sitter. Oh, that's big. No yellow. Interesting.
Oh, single car sin because he's not down on the track. That's
That
gotta
makes sense.
hurt.
Mm-hmm. Now, especially
So-
at a racetrack like this, now what? Now what you gotta do? Just
Yeah,
ride
that-
around and hope
that
for
one's
yellow,
gonna
I
hurt.
guess. Yeah.
So, wow, these guys are still going here. That'll be your new leader, JP Phillips there. Let's check and see. Go back to the slow-mo replay here, see what exactly happened.
Yeah.
And, like you said, it looks like...
I
So the
mean,
22's up there on the wall. Did he come down, or did...
No, I want to say he just lost it because the way this track is, it kind of just if you go from the bottom, it just kind of slides up.
Yep,
and
you see him
there's just
pushing
no
down
grip.
already. That rear end's already gone.
Yeah,
Cold tires, nowhere to go. 46 there, just...
heck of
Yeah.
a miss by Grady Gherkin. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, taking the best out of a bad situation, but Tommy
Yeah.
keeping that back end off the wall, though.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, I think right here, you kind of gets that front end ding a little.
Well, that's interesting. We'll see how that patches out on this car as the yellow is finally out here.
See, that's going to be for Chris Bouchard crashing here, it looks like.
Let's see.
What happened here?
See if it was- Grady Gherkin sideways and cars
Yeah.
behind did not check up. Let's see. I guess that's what Grady Gherkin gets for just missing that first wreck.
Let's see, what happened? Come on.
Looks like he got spun out by... Oh, no, he didn't. Well, I don't know.
Oh, he got up under the 6 there, and when he backed, yep.
Yeah, so Andrew Ratcliffe is just slowing up for the corner there, and Gherkin just not
Getting
really
on the brake.
expecting him.
Yeah, a little too much rear bias, gets onto it, and it kind of just slides out. But it almost clears the 13 there. But looks like he kept it off of too much danger. You see the 28 of Chris Bouchard also. He's the one sideways there. That's what brought that out.
Good save, though, by both drivers here. And, hey,
Yeah.
that is exactly what Tommy Ryan was looking for. Now he's
Ooh, the
gonna
33.
be- Oh my goodness. We're starting too early with drivers narrowly missing these wrecks.
Yeah. So checking off your top 3 now, you got Jeff Phillips, Radcliffe, and Byers. So Grady Gherkin and Tommy Ryan there in the pits. So I'm assuming these either guys do not have fast repairs or they do not. They don't want to use it just yet. Use it when it's more beneficial.
Yeah. That's what I would do. There's still, 145 laps to go, so absolutely no reason to use it now, especially at such a racetrack that is as difficult as this one. There could be wrecks galore. You never know, so it's good to save it for later, and you never know.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely one of those. Let's see. Just checking with Carl. Apparently his phone's even having major issues, and it's not even on his Wi-Fi. So I guess the entire state of Pennsylvania may be having an outage currently. I know.
Well, I will say this. I am from Pennsylvania, and that's where I'm currently at right now, and I'm running just fine. So,
I was gonna say I actually I went on a work trip up there, and I thought about trying to do one. I think Jimmy and you took care of it for me because the internet was so bad. I couldn't even try to call. Like my phone. Oh, it was bad. I'm not 81 and 76 can piss right off, in my opinion.
Well, it doesn't seem like there's any weather in the area, so maybe just a outage issue of some sort here. But
As
pace
we're
car's
about to
off.
go
Let's
back
go
green,
back.
yeah.
Let's do this. Try this
Green,
again.
green, green.
There we go.
JP
And
Phillips
Phillips
is
getting a
gone.
great launch there. Kind of wonder if Byers there in that Metallica didn't light the tires up on the start a little bit.
Yeah, that's tricky because the front stretch at this racetrack is pretty banked as well, so it can be a little tricky, especially now that the tires are a little bit worn. Not much. We've been only racing for maybe about 4 or 5 green flag laps.
It's probably more just the fact they're going to be cold.
That too, yeah.
So, as we look in here. Oh. Hey, Tyler, you want to jump over in their little rules section there and see if you can find us any information?
Yeah, let's see what we can get.
Yeah, race links and different things. See if they're cut down on the tank size and whatnot. Because we are 10 laps in here. You know, looking here, you've got this combo here, Chris Stouffer and Matthew Simmons that are just, you know, running right in here. I mean, you have to wonder if some of these guys are just saving fuel.
Yeah, that's what I imagined, but it's especially going to be tricky at this racetrack when you're going to you're going to play with the throttle a lot because of how bumpy this place can be here. As for example, you have a car almost spinning out right behind Tommy Ryan, Tim Glass there. So yeah, these drivers are going to be playing with this racetrack. You're trying to figure out which line is going to be the best right now. And there's still plenty of laps to go, but lap times looking pretty close too.
Oh, apparently we had that there. I don't know why we have pit lap pulled up there.
Oh, we're not there yet.
No. We got that backwards. It's gap and then interval. That's
There
what
we
you're
go.
used to seeing.
There we go.
And then it's giving me their lap times as they go by. So perfect. Not too much data on screen, hopefully. Otherwise, we'll have to... Yep, there we go. So Tommy, not making a ton of progress up, you know, 7/10 off of Scott Bolster there.
All right, here we go. So what do we got? We got one. Every driver does have one faster pair, so that is good to see. I doubt anybody used them, especially not yet.
Yeah, so that's a strategy game hanging on to it there. Oh, Grady getting a little slideways.
Oh, here goes the run here.
Working on Jake Loesch there.
Yeah, that outside doesn't seem to be, not the outside, but the middle doesn't seem to be it as he makes a little bit of contact with the wall behind Gherkin there. A little bit of
Sorry, no, that was
separation
Kirby.
there.
My apology. It was logging. Wait, hold on. Okay, we are live. Make sure with all those replays we weren't caught in the past.
Yes.
But Gherkin last lap putting in that 24:16, you know, which is tying JP Phillips up there in first. So Gherkin definitely has the pace to be running all the way up front. You know,
Yeah.
Still got 150 laps to get back up there, so.
And it looks like drivers as well have about 4 tire sets that they will be able to use during the course of this event. And
A
because
little
of
bit
how,
going here. Oh.
yeah, it looks like this track is going to be wild, and pretty much all the action is going right behind JP Phillips, who is the winner, the only winner so far in this series right now. He won at Daytona last race here, so now we have a side-by-side between Chris Bouchard making the pass there on Chris Stouffer for P5.
That's a neat little camera, little drone cam following him
I
around.
like it. Oh, yeah.
So you can see these 4 were kind of out there, but yeah, Chris Bouchard running that high line, getting all the way next to the wall. You know, let's hop in the. Yeah, you can see here. Look at the Dodgers I mean, look at that slip angle. That is not straight.
Oh, and look at that angle up front
Yep,
there.
right there. You see a little touch from above. I mean, these guys are not playing. They are right on the limit.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this racetrack is that not that it's just so wild to drive, but it's that we're probably going to be seeing two dominant lanes. You're either going to be running, as of course that's not what's happening at all, that's going to support my statement, but you're going to see either probably drivers sending it deep on the bottom, trying to make a clear pass like we just saw right in front of Chris Bouchard, or you're going to see drivers run the wall and then do that little bit cut or that arc there, exiting the corner there, trying to get as straight as they can exiting the corner. So we're going to see a lot of change here, especially as drivers maneuver around this racetrack.
Ooh. Trying to get
There
up
we
under that
go.
Dodge. Yeah. I mean, the sad thing is, we know that's not a Dodge body on there. It's a Chevy.
Yeah, it's just we can play it off as a Dodge. But here goes Bouchard now to the inside of Ratcliffe, trying to make a pass for P3. I'm going to see how he can do it. Will he make a slide job? He's going to stay pretty even.
And try to come up underneath there.
Yep. Good run off the top, though.
Pushes out just a little bit. So what's really funny, one of my uncles used to build some cars for Neil Bonnet. And way back in the day, Neil Bonnet ran a Chevy that was sponsored by our local Dodge dealership. And on the back C-pillar, the car said, what was it? We sell the best and sponsor the rest.
That's fantastic. That's the most Neil Bonnet sounding thing I've ever heard. That's awesome.
Yeah. But that's how you get away with having a Dodge on a Chevy.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter. You can get away with it.
Yep, it was the Western Dodge, and the car they used to call the Underdog. That's dating me now because that car was run before I was born, and so that's got to be 60 years ago now. Oof.
That's not far.
No, it was an interesting car, and little tidbit, they cheated a lot back then.
Yes, they did. That would be correct.
So you see Tommy Ryan trying to get around Scott Bolster here now. So maybe just looking after those tires. I know I've heard Carl talk about it, and I've done one or two other races for can't even talk tonight, UCRL before, and they do have a tendency to have some nice long green flag runs. Kind of figured the Gen 4 might change that a little bit, but
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, last race at Daytona that I was also in the booth for, it was a little bit of a mix between, green flag runs while having some wrecks there. But
it's Daytona. I mean,
oh yeah, it is Daytona. So, what I did see is that those drivers were not scared to take any risk whatsoever. They were going to put on a fantastic show, and they did just that. The finish was fantastic. The wrecks were interesting to watch, and right now we're seeing at least some pretty fun racing.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody's they're getting close. They're pushing on each other, but they're definitely leaving space, and they're not being silly about it. It's so much better, once you start doing the overlays and things, Tyler, and you need to hop into some official sessions just to test and see if what you're doing looks right.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many, especially if you go into a Gen 4 thing, if you find one that's populated, how many of those are just caution fest.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Just because of how different they are, especially compared to the modern day cars like you have now. You said it earlier that these things have very little grip in the car, and at a racetrack, I would consider this a driver's racetrack more than the car, really, because I said, it's so different. The banking is so steep. You have a couple different lines to get around the place, as well as just trying to think of what is the right move to pass somebody here. And obviously, as we can see when it comes to tire management, the lap times have fallen off significantly since we have started here. So it's pretty cool to see these drivers go around.
Let's see if I can pull up and see. I don't know how many it'll show. No, not that, but lap times. Let's pull them up for, say, Justin Kirby. You can see lap 25, 24/7. Well, he's staying about that same over, 5 or 6 laps. Or that's Gherkin staying the same. But Kirby, he's right there with him. You look at Phillips 24-4, 24-5, 24-5, 24-6, 24-7. So you can kind of see there's that progression, losing half a tenth to a tenth a lap now.
The cool thing about that is he's losing time right now, probably with the tires, but be interesting. But he's not losing time for the lead. He's continuously pulling away a little bit here. So
Let's hop on with the chat. There's your tilt angle, in case you were wondering. You know, you said there was a little bit of banking, but let's watch him run. And I'm betting with these lap times what you're going to see. So he runs it in low. Yep. And I bet you for the next corner, I wonder if he's going to push it up high and let the car. No, he's staying down low. Okay.
That just tells me his car really likes the bottom right now.
Yeah. So a lot of times what you'll see is you'll see guys do 1 or 2 laps down towards the bottom. Then they'll swap it over and run a couple laps on the high side. You know, swap that stress from the fronts back to the rears. You know, let those fronts cool down for a little minute, take some wear out of the rears, let them cool down and go back to your fronts. It's an old short track trick, you know, rather than punishing your right front all night, you know, sometimes put it over on the right rear a little for a few laps and give her a break.
Well, let's just compare this based on some of the research that I did here. The banking in the corners at Daytona are 31 degrees. The banking in these corners are about 23 degrees. So that tells you how steep it is. And even the front straightaway is about 8 degrees. So you can even just see it on the backstretch here as well with the banking here. But the way, I love how the drivers do this. They just glide to the top entering the corners and then they arc it off the car. I just love that. It looks so cool.
Yeah, you can see Grady's one of the guys up here on the high line. You know, and Grady's running, let's see. I hate this. I gotta do. E and -1, right? There we go. Yeah, so last few laps 24-7, 24-7, 24-8, 25-2, 24-9, 24-8. So,
yeah, they're falling off.
Yeah, but they've kind of hit a little bit of a plateau, it seems. They're not. It's not like the Xfinity car used to be, and once you cooked that right front, you were done. You know, you were about to lose 2, 3, 4 seconds a lap.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll be amazed. I kind of expected the tire fall off, but I was kind of expecting just a little bit more. But that tells me these drivers are doing a pretty nice job here at managing the tires, and I like what Chris Bouchard is doing right now because he was just spinning not too long ago, and he's already battling now for P2 as he gets into the wall and continues to prove, saying that I like what he's doing. I didn't quite like that, but he's really putting the pressure on Jeff Byers right now, and you can see it's still pretty close in lap time between the two here, but they're running pretty even.
Yeah, and they're kind of running that same line, but if you notice, JP Phillips, 3.5 second lead.
Oh, forget it.
He has checked out.
Yeah.
There you go. Almost half the front straight.
I mean, he's just.
Byers can't even see him.
No.
Until
it just proves that how good JP Phillips is. Again, he won Daytona last week, and I mean, if things keep going just as smooth, he's looking to go 2 straight here. So, yeah, it's just going to be about continuous tire management, and we are flying. Oh, and there's the yellow. Never mind. All right. Well,
let's see. Looks like according to SDK, this is going to be Chris Stouffer here.
Okay. So I want to see if this has anything.
Oh,
nope, has absolutely nothing to do with the tires, and that's a big hit for Stouffer. I believe Justin Kirby in the 58.
Yeah, it looks like what we're going to do is hop in with Kirby here, and we will go this one. Any difference?
That's interesting. I mean, Stouffer, I don't want to say he backed off early. Just Kirby, he just completely misjudged that. I mean, that's what I would assume.
Well, I mean, he's closing in pretty good, but yeah, I think that's what it is. And
see, he obviously, I believe he meant to send it in that deep, but you can see how quick he tried to move the top. He knew he had a good run on Stouffer there, and he just, I guess, got to try to get to the top way too late, causing the contact.
Yeah, he gets on the brakes, and that's unfortunately nowhere to really go. Like, it's one of those things you committed towards that low line, and the low line was no longer there when you went for it.
No,
So.
no. Yeah, that's just a tough deal. Race off. Oh my goodness gracious. Woo.
Yeah, that shows you a league right now where you just like in some of Coors races, like we were talking in GT last week. Pit lane makes the difference. I mean, how many spots are you going to pick up in a pit phase?
Well, JP didn't lose any because.
Well, no, yeah, he did.
Well,
no, Glass and Stouffer.
I was gonna say they must have stayed out there. But yeah, so pretty similar. Not much change on pit road, especially not at the top end. Oh, look at this view.
I was just sitting there looking. A certain someone, Carl, made us run this infield road course.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know this track had an infield road course.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I can tell. That reminds me, I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of the infield Atlanta road course a little bit. That's what that just looks like. I don't know about the elevation changes, but I mean, just the look of it makes me think of it.
Hey, just a little bit of cheerwine in the grandstands here today.
Sure.
Always going to check out the interesting ones here. We're going to save you this. Let's see what the nose and tail look like.
Boy.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Didn't have a chance to get those set up for this particular car.
Well, that's all right. All right, let's see how JP and Andrew here face off on the front row.
This time, keep it on Andrew here.
Green.
And
what a restart.
You see how much those things pick that front end up when they get on the throttle?
Mm-hmm. Oh, almost contact. And on the line is Bouchard there. And he clears for P2. Great move.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Crossover. Slide job. No, not quite.
Well, here's the problem. It's going to be getting on that throttle coming out with all that power.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an egg under the throttle.
And now that we're on cold tires, they're probably going to be very loose. And we saw earlier in the race what could happen when you're on cold tires and you're loose. That right there, that spin right there, Jeff Byers, what almost happened.
So I saw these two here going back and forth here for a minute on my SDK. But looks like they've got it sorted out. May have just been right next to each other mid-corner. But Matthew Simmons was a little higher up at that start. Looks like he dropped a couple spots. But definitely looking through here. Chris Bouchard, your biggest winner. Let's see if I can... Do I have... They don't. So they'll show it to me, but they won't give me a thing. Nope. Okay. I was looking to see, but yeah, Chris Bouchard up 10 spots from his starting position. JP Phillips up 1. And then the quote-unquote largest loser would be Justin Kirby, who was down 6th. And Tommy Ryan, after going to the back of the field, trying to work on Grady Gherkin there.
Great recovery so far by that 99 there. He's kind of getting the feel of it, and thankfully on those new tires, he didn't get a little loose there off of the corner here, but he, again, great run there. Gherkin close to the wall. Looks like he just about barely scraped it on exit, but Tommy Ryan now going to try the bottom here to see if he can get past that 46. He's going to get close on entry, but not quite.
Yeah, it's, I mean... With guys like these, this battle it's not a battle yet. They're a third of the way through the race, about to hit lap 50. This is like the little sparring match before the actual boxing match. They're just showing off
before
a little
the storm
bit.
Is what you want to call it.
Yeah. But you see Bouchard there out. Yeah. Now, JP Phillips is not pulling away from Bouchard like he was some of the other guys. I mean, he is making... the second I say that, I'm sitting there looking at that interval going 6/10, 7/10, 8/10.
Well, you are right. He is gaining time, but he's not. He is not gaining it as quick as he seemed to have been earlier. The other drivers behind him seem to kind of figure it out a little bit, run consistent lap times. You can see JP's really only running about 10th to maybe 3/10 faster than the guys behind there, trying to pull away. I'm trying to tell. Yeah, only a couple hundredths that lap. So, yeah, not bad overall. So now they're side by side back here for P5.
Yeah, that's Gherkin getting around Ratliff, so Ratliff kind of getting shuffled backwards a little bit after that start. You wonder if he leaned on those tires a little too hard trying to keep Bouchard behind him and maybe paying the price if they're a little angry at him.
Yeah, I'm sure that start caught him off guard because of how big of a jump JP got, and then Chris managed to follow because he did not get going that smooth off the restart here. But now, at this point, just kind of trying to run his race here, be as smooth, consistent laps, see if he can get by the guys behind or in front.
Yeah, trying to keep an eye over here. I've got to make a change, because this overlay came from somebody else. And my eyesight sucks. So we're about to zoom in so I can read the scoreboard from a long way away. There we go. 115% zoom. That's nice. Yeah, everyone's names now are the size of my thumb. Good.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. I think we just went from size 10 font over here to about 32.
Perfect. Well, now that we're going to continue to get later in this race here, it's going to be interesting to see. Now that we're on our second big stint of the race, how will these tires last? I'll be curious. Did the drivers, what did they learn from that first stint when it comes to tire saving? Are they going to be more aggressive, or are they going to maybe try to be a little bit more careful here?
Well, you can kind of see here, the guys who didn't stop at all put 41 laps on the tires and at least the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So we had two cautions in that? No, one caution in that period.
Yes.
So, so somewhere another 40 laps is when we're going to start wondering. Did you say they were running a smaller fuel tank, or is it full?
I was not able to see exactly what fuel tank they were running.
Okay.
I'll continue to look here throughout here, but something I will continuously be interested in is I believe the fastest lap that we saw at the beginning of that run was about a 23.7 here. Now they're running about 6/10 off that. So
yeah, fastest lap is going to be JP with a 23.70.
Mm-hmm.
Looking down through the field, the next closest is going to be Jeff Byers and Matthew Simmons, who both managed a 23.74.
So good lap times, but Chris Bouchard has seemed to figure it out because now he's only a second back. He is not far off of JP's lap times. Now it's only just a few hundredths instead of a few tenths.
Now, if you look back a couple laps, when Gherkin got around Ratcliffe here, Ryan was on his rear bumper.
Mm-hmm.
And now Gherkin is, another 6/10 up the road. So that's going to be a little bit more work Tommy's going to have to do to try to run down Grady. Speaking of which, Grady's lining up a pass on Jeff Byers here.
Yeah, Grady seems really good right now. I like the speed right here, but now he's just got to be patient, be careful, because he's got two cars in front of him here.
You can just see. You can see on the 40, that says 45, but I believe that is the 76 of Jeff Byers, if I am correct there. And where do I have to go to? -1 +1? No, lap time history. -1 +1. There we go. Yeah. So, Grady not taking huge chunks out, but it's consistently, a little bit green, a little bit red, a little more green, and when he's losing, it's 0.004, 0.001. I mean, that's next to nothing.
Nah, that's not bad at all. That can be changed, especially the later we get the run.
The line difference that they're taking is crazy.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's I guess just a product of this racetrack.
Oh, 28 into the wall a little bit there.
Okay, that allows Jeff Byers to get the run there, but not quite. He keeps it going. How about that? Oh, the send, though. Look at this.
I mean,
If he
is
can
that
make
not
this
just going to
work.
be ripping? I mean, I know we're looking for another car.
Oh, there he goes. I believe he saved it. Yep, he's all
Yep.
good, but I knew that was going to be difficult.
We're going to go back a little bit, see what that looked like from the perspective of Jeff there.
Yeah, he tried to pull a slide job to get up in front, but just
Yep,
too
it
much
went
throttle.
down.
Oof.
But that's the right thing. You know, he waited to get back until after the travel, didn't get it to where he was going to spin the car.
Yep.
You know, and I know this sounds stupid, but rejoining the track properly, such a lost art for him. You know, but these guys, class act. Good job there, Jeff.
You think it's an easy concept to rejoin the racetrack like that, so simple, but like, it's something that you see that drivers just miss so much, and it's so unfortunate because of what can happen here. But yeah, overall, that was close, but pretty good save.
Well, if you see Chris there in front is kind of diamonding that corner off. You know, running back high and then coming back down. And it's hard to tell. Let me put the camera on Chris here. And see, is he getting a little wiggle coming out of that car when he's trying to change the lane back there?
That corner looked pretty good coming off.
So it's going to be, I believe this is going to be 3 and 4 here. Oh,
Yep.
well.
Whoa.
Might have overcooked that just a little bit. Yeah,
Just a
it's
little bit.
right there, right by that white line. I think there must be a bump in the track causing it to spin that rear tire out. And that would
Brady's trying to do everything to get back to the inside here, but just can't get that run off, that power off the corner.
And he's got Jeff on his high side now, looking to try to find a way around the both of them. And then look, that has brought Andrew Ratcliffe back into the battle here because these two running side by side, neither one can run the line they want to run. You know, and that's going to cook off tire. If you're trying to push it down low to get around somebody, you got a lap or two before those tires they start getting angry with it. You can see right there what Grady loses on the drive out of the corner from that high line.
Yeah, and that's what I've learned, especially as a person who's driven on ovals quite a lot, is if you want to make the pass on somebody at a racetrack that is very difficult on tires, it is best to do it as soon as possible because the more you continue to battle with somebody, like you said, the tires will just not be happy with that, and they will wear a lot quicker. So if you want to make a pass on somebody, be confident you can do it pretty quick.
We have another entry into the pack. Tommy Ryan is right back there now.
How about this?
So,
Side by
if
side for 2 rows.
if you're Tommy, do you just sit back here knowing, you know, let them burn their stuff up. I'm going to run my lines. If I get a free gimme, I'll take it.
That's
but otherwise,
exactly what I do.
You know, I mean, because at some point these guys are, whoa. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if I were Tommy, just do what he can, run whatever is the best line that his tires will like. What a move by Ratcliffe out there. But yeah, just continue to go. If you have a shot, like a huge opportunity to take move up a position, absolutely take it. But again, don't run side by side. That'll make your tires unhappy. Just let them burn their stuff up most likely, and just you'll eventually pounce.
Yeah, you can kind of see Grady having to take that higher line now, if nothing else. I mean, and the weird thing is, for running that low line, it seems like he's been burning the rears off, not the front, getting it to turn down in there. I mean, I guess that's all just from trying to keep up corner exit with the top line.
Yeah, that's very true. And what I'm noticing Grady's doing it the most is he's the hardest on the throttle when it comes to entering the corners, because you can just see it in these cameras how much deeper he's able to send it. He just has a ton of confidence. His car can turn really well in the center. Like if he runs up top, then he can cut off the exit there and get a good arc. That he has a lot of confidence in those front tires. But right now, he's got that pressure from Tommy Ryan just behind there.
Yeah, and if you're Grady, do you just let Tommy go and be like, hey, why don't you open the door and I'm just going to follow you through?
Oh, there goes a spin and a big hit for Chris Bouchard.
Let's see.
As well as Scott Bolster in that one. Let's see.
Oh, this is going to be back behind.
Ooh, he almost lost it too. Oh, big hit. Oh.
That's okay. This is going to be it here.
All right, so we got Scott here. We'll see. I'm assuming he's going to be side by side with Bolster throughout most of the corner, but that seemed like it happened on the straightaway.
Yeah, he caught the wall and then bounces off here. And I bet you, yep, crosses the yellow line down there, trying to avoid whatever's going on with the 28. And is he going to track up here?
It sure looks like he's going up the racetrack just slightly, but this is the part where Bouchard is going to try to cut off the exit there, and he's going to move down as well.
Oh,
so,
I think it's a little bit of net code from the 9. I could see daylight, but it's either a little bit of net code or the 45.
Sideways. Oh,
Yeah.
overcorrect. There it is right there. There's the overcorrect.
He got on the gas either a little hard or a little bit of net code out of the 9. But, let me jump on Grady.
Barely.
Sneaks through. And then Simmons, nowhere to go.
Nope.
Hits him and narrowly misses.
Oh, Kirby. Whew. All right. Well, that will most likely that will probably be the faster pair for Simmons and Bouchard, I would imagine. But now everybody's finally taking tires. I'm sure they're probably excited to get new tires, but now we go to a pretty long final. I'm not going to say final stint, but a pretty long stint here to the finish. So we'll see if we get any more yellows, because this is going to be.
After all that, look who's in third. Tommy Ryan.
How about that? Look at. Wow, that's fantastic.
Almost the fastest through pit lane. 14.72 for his pit time. Justin Kirby managing a 14.70, whereas JP Phillips 14.8, Andrew Ratcliffe 14. Oh no, Ratcliffe was fast. 14.5 out of him.
Interesting that JP though has managed to hold on to the lead. Pretty good.
Simmons has been in the pits for 1 minute and 4 seconds. So I'm guessing he either A, used his fast repair, because it's one of those things, I've had this happen before, and it's just your gut just hits the floor when you may have bump drafted someone a little too hard, and you come in, you don't think you have any damage, but you left the fast repair checked, and it takes it.
Well, I want to say Scott Bolster also took his fast repair as well. He was on pit road for a pretty large amount of time.
Jeff Byers in there for 31. So I'm guessing he got some. I bet if we look at his. Oh, we're about to go grade.
All right, let's see if the 22 can get another great restart. That is exactly what he does, and he's going to bring Tommy Ryan right with him. Poor old Andrew Ratcliffe can't get anything to work on that outside on these starts.
No, but look at Grady there. He's looking to get around on the outside.
Now he's got to be patient with this, because now they're double file for 2 rows for P2. He's got to be careful to not be egregious with his move right now, but Tommy Ryan trying to clear the 9. Not quite, and there's sideways behind.
Looks like that was Jake Loesch getting a little sideways back there, keeping it off the wall and off everybody else. So good save there by Jake. Ooh, I'm not sure if that was a little hiccup out of my computer or a very twitchy 46.
That was a close moment right there. Boy, these guys are continuously loose. A good run for the 46 off of turn 4.
Oh,
9's gonna block.
28 riding it up there.
Kept it straight. Good move.
This little bit extra pace out of Grady here. I'm wondering if they gave the Gherkin a little pickle in the pits there.
Maybe that's true, because now he is continuously fast in that 46. He continues to have these runs on the 9 of Ratcliffe, but just is not able to pounce quite yet. Maybe he's listened in to think and heard us say that if you have confidence to make a pass, wait till you know you can, because you don't want to burn your tires up, especially this early.
This early in the stint, he might be just trying to put a little pressure, see if he can get a mistake out of Andrew that he could capitalize on. But But looking here at every, we all know iRating, especially in leagues like this, is you can throw it out the window.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Andrew does manage to have 5,200. So the man does know what he's doing. And Grady, 4,200. You don't get up past about 3 or 4 very much without knowing some tricks
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and being used to a little pressure.
Yeah. What am I even at? I think I'm at 4K I rating on ovals now. So, I mean, I've been doing it for quite a long time. I've managed to figure out some tricks. And these drivers do some of the tricks that I have done before. Not at this racetrack, but just oval racing in general. But, again, these cars are so different than the modern ones. So, that also
little
kind of
wiggle.
throws a little bit of strategy off for me. But, yeah, these drivers continuously lose here with, 66 laps to go.
Yeah, looking back through the field here, see if we got anybody else really close. Looks like Chris Stouffer, and I believe that's the 13. Sorry, that's Jeff Ron. Stouffer trying to get around Ron, maybe.
Ooh, try that outside.
That's a very aggressive to the outside line there.
Yeah,
playing peekaboo with Jeff's mirror there.
Yeah, I think he just essentially went into turn 1, kept the steering wheel straight to go quick up to that top lane to try to catch the.
Either that or he forgot the brakes for that corner and just scrubbed them. And you can get away with that every once in a while.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's gonna give him a run to the outside here now.
Gonna back off the corner a little bit, try to get the runner off.
Ron kind of walks it up to the wall or towards the wall, taking the line choice away from him.
He saw that coming probably. He saw him back off the entry. Probably knew he was gonna try to get a run off here and block that line, but
it's 2 or 3 tenths slower in corner entry to run that high line.
There we go to the inside. Gonna try a slide job, not quite the 33 with a good run off top.
Yeah, you're up there on the top. You can get on the gas a little sooner, and you can see they were almost door to door there for a second, but now 0.3 of a second to Ryan. So definitely throwing some punches out here, but looking up front, there's JP Phillips, only 1.2, and then you have Andrew, Grady, and Tommy. It's just sitting here.
Yeah, so that's the way I can kind of dissect this race. So far, you have JP who's in his own, I won't say in his own zip code, at least not right now, because he's still the dominant car of this race. But then you got these three.
Grady running the high
trying to battle. Yeah, he really sent it to the outside to try to get a good
crossover
run off, and it worked. How about that? Now what does he do entering turn 1?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to keep it pinned down. The question is, can he get any kind of exit on him?
A little bit, not quite enough.
To make that work, you're gonna have to be a little bit more ahead, and I think you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to have a half a car on him and kind of massage him to the outside a little earlier to make that one stick.
Single file here. Now again, just like before, what does Tommy do here? He's just kind of hanging out, watching these two battle it out, just run back and forth in whatever line they want.
Yep.
Matthew Simmons with a little bit of an awkward entry into the pit.
I think he's looks like that's after that previous damage. I think he just parked it. May have parked it and ran to the bathroom and just left the car. Didn't hop out of the car.
Oh, a little bit of contact for the 9 into the wall back there, it looked like. Gherkin now trying to capitalize. Oh, if he could pull it off, I don't know if I'll have quite enough of a run. He's into the wall again, a bigger hit. And that's exactly what he wanted.
That opens the door for Tommy Ryan as well. Let's see if Tommy can make that bottom move stick any better than Grady.
Yeah, that was a big hit by the 9. He got the wall to start, but then it just kind of tried to overcorrect it, but it just kind of, it's like that magnet feel where you try to get off the wall, but you just can't get the right angle without it either staying hooked on the wall or, just flying off of it and maybe going spinning into someone else.
Oh, yeah, and, the fun thing is, iRacing for tomorrow, you know it's coming, right?
Oh, the new update. Oh, that's right. There's a lot of new stuff coming tomorrow.
So anybody watching this, if you plan on having a league race tomorrow night, you might want to make sure you update a little early, because we're getting the mini stocks and the new McLaren for GT3, the new ish BMW for GT4. Not sure what else is supposed to be in there. Oh, new redone Spa.
Oh, I did hear that. That's going to be one of the first things I try. I want to see how different it's going to be.
And looking back through here, oh, looks like Justin Kirby here trying to make a little move on Chris Bouchard.
Kirby's running pretty well.
Yeah, Bouchard looks like he may have had the pace early on, but might have cooked the tires, or is he coming back after that little wall touch earlier? I can't tell.
I mean, it could be just... It might just all be in his head right now. He had that incident earlier. He just... it wasn't his fault by any means, that's for sure. But you can see he kind of just gave Justin Kirby that position right there. So maybe
I've got it here on my SDK. Chris Bouchard passed Justin Kirby for P5. Justin Kirby passed Bouchard.
Yeah.
Chris Bouchard passed Justin. He's just back.
He just didn't want to keep fighting anymore. Cook his tires maybe any more than he already has. So, I mean, no reason.
Well, I mean, let's pull up our pit strategy, because everybody looks like they pitted on lap 76. So they did 41, 35, 22. So they're about halfway through this stint. The question is, though, was 41 laps, was that getting close to the end of their tank? Or could they have done 60? You know, can these guys take it all the way to the end?
I mean, I doubt it. I would imagine these drivers will probably pit at least one more time because, I mean, we're just 23 laps on this run so far, and they still have 51 laps to go. There is no way they're going to run over 70 laps, not even if they can make it on fuel, but on these tires, because they're almost a second off since they've restarted here. So I would expect at least one more pit stop here. Not for fuel, but for tires. I mean, obviously, they'll take fuel, but tires are more important.
So apparently Barry in the chat is from Pennsylvania as well. All right, just limited to Carl. Well, you know, we have a nice saying over in Core, sucks to suck. Might need to buy a different house.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just maybe a new something to do with the internet. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it.
I forget who he's using, but he's told me before. I think it's one of those. They've been a little notorious for having issues over the years.
Bummer. Yeah, that's a tough deal.
As looking back through here, looks like, you know, checking back up here up front, Andrew and Tommy and Grady. I mean, none of these guys are really checking out. Grady's getting about a half a second lead over Andrew. And looking at their last laps, Grady not really closing down on JP Phillips. Phillips actually a 10th quicker last lap.
Yeah, he's constantly still been just ever so faster than the guys behind him right now. Still keeping nice steady gap here for the lead. No reason to, you know, overdrive the car. Just whatever he's doing is working perfect.
You kind of have to wonder if if JP's not just driving in the rear view, driving to a pace.
That's what I would guess.
Just like, all right, I'll go a little faster, I'll go a little slower. Just, I want a 10th per lap.
Yep, I like it. Good strategy. I mean, still got plenty of laps to go here. No reason to try anything daring yet. Still got quite a bit to go. So the only guys that expect to see something daring is maybe these four right here.
Yeah. I mean, because even if you have the pace, you know, let's say he's got, you know, something crazy, like half a second a lap in his pocket. If you try to flex that right now, what are the chances you're going to gain, you know, that we've got 44 laps of green flag left? Oh. There's a 9 into the wall there. You know, they're 30 laps on. We had a caution at 35 laps and a caution at 41 laps worth of green flag racing. So, you know, maybe this is the point. Maybe that 30 to 40 lap range is where the tires are just starting to give out.
I mean,
this might not be a fuel race at all. This might just be purely, you know, the tires have to last. I mean, it is Rockingham after all.
And the other thing that we haven't even mentioned whatsoever yet is outside of just pitting for tires. I mean, we've kind of had cautions at like I'm not gonna say the perfect time, but at times where the drivers are probably ready to pit. But we haven't seen anybody enter pit road for a green flag pit stop yet. And I can imagine how wild that's gonna be.
Well, if you're JP Phillips, it's probably not what you want. I mean, he seems to be getting good launches. He'll run his pace and slowly open up that gap. Last lap, yet again, 1/10. So either naturally he's a 10th faster than Grady, or he's driving in his mirrors into a pace.
Well, either way, he's going to continue to drive his race. But if these guys behind him continue to battle, I mean, he's just going to game time that way. He doesn't even have to push the car. These guys are just going to run slower if they continue to run side by side and push their tires even harder. Because
notice who's come in here.
Goodness.
Yeah, Justin Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby's the one I've been kind of seeing him a little bit. He's been sending it deep into corners and washing up on entries, trying to find something.
We've seen Kirby over in Core before. So if memory serves correct, he runs our GT series as well.
Well, trying to figure out right now on these ovals as here goes Ratcliffe to the outside of Gherkin here. Nice run, exiting the corner, and he easily makes the pass. I wonder if Gherkin's falling off. All right, here goes Kirby now to the inside.
Yeah, and if Kirby knew that they were going to have a long run or was betting on a long run, he may have just saved more tire. And because Kirby last lap running a 25.02, that Dodge all up in the wall.
My goodness.
But Tommy Ryan right behind him as well.
Kirby's doing everything he can to get past Gherkin, who's wall riding it, at least trying to here, but just can't get the power off the corner. I think he's got it. This is probably his best chance here. He'll be side by side entering one. Never mind.
Yeah, I think Kirby decided he's going to need to cool those tires down a little bit. Well, no.
Okay.
I was sitting there looking for a caution. He gets a little help from Tommy Ryan, giving him a little bit of a push there.
Ryan is doing a good job here. He's going to make the pass. Yes, he does.
Yep, just clears. And that's the thing is, that's what a lot of the younger iRacers and the guys that are new to this don't realize is when you start racing around guys like this, they know exactly where their car is. Mm-hmm. They know down to an inch or two whether or not they're going to clear it. They don't have to have the spotter tell them they're clear. They know.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's the other interesting. I've been wrecked plenty of times on the racetrack of someone thinking that they're clear, but they're not because their spotter said that they were clear, but realistically they weren't. Because sometimes, you just have to use your mirror. Can't depend fully on the spotter.
I have definitely increased the space for my crew chief when I run that. It's like, let me know when there's a half a foot. No. Give me 4 feet. you tell me I'm clear when there's 4 feet. And that's the other problem is people hear that they're clear and then they'll go and dive down to the bottom.
Yeah.
They're slamming the door in someone's face. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But, something to point out, Andrew Ratcliffe, if you can't kind of look at the time here. Oh, here he goes on pit road. I was going to say, because he was steadily making gains on JP Phillips, but this is going to be big now because pitting first is going to probably be a little bit big because he'll be on those fresher tires a lap early. So we got to see if JP or Kirby or Ryan capitalizes on this as soon as possible because I would imagine you don't want to stay out too long on those old tires. You'll lose too much time.
Well, we were seeing those times drop off after, 10 laps or so?
Yeah, and there's Phillips on pit lane now, so, yeah. And the question is, how will they blend out here?
Now, here's the other thing is, if you're running long, let's say you're somebody like Justin Kirby or Tommy Ryan, and you've been saving fuel and saving everything else. If there's a caution that comes out right now...
Oh, perfect.
Or, if you can go 10 more laps and a caution comes out, you have everybody. They're
exactly.
dead to rights. Sorry, One of y'all gets a lap back. The rest of you,
No. Yeah. Nope. Okay. So I mean I like it. I mean they really didn't seem like they had the pace to win the race just based on pure speed from Phillips or even Ratcliffe. As there's the race off, Phillips barely is going to win race off, and he has a lot fresher tires, so that's going to be pretty significant for the 22. But I mean,
that gap is down
Ryan,
to half a second.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely shrunk a lot better. So pitting lap earlier was helpful, just not quite helpful enough. Now we'll see what this technical final run is going to be like. 31 laps to go to the finish.
But there's your leader, Tommy Ryan, still out there pounding laps.
He's hoping for a yellow. That's it. He's just praying for a yellow right now. Because, I mean, even just a few laps on new tires could be making a huge difference. So
Scott Bolster and Chris Bouchard, they're staying out as well. And all these guys stopped on lap 76. But
so, I mean, they got... Oh, there's smoke. I don't know. No, I think they're okay. Oh, that would have been huge.
Justin Kirby going off track? See what this was.
Here we go. Let's see.
Was this his pit entry?
If it is, then what a wild pit. Nope, just lost it. Woo! Good save,
and saved it, but because he was off the track...
No yellow.
And stays down below that blend line until he gets completely straight. There's no caution.
That would have changed everything if we had it.
Scott Bolster into the pits. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so...
Raggy.
Well, not quite.
Oh, no, it's a Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Good job.
Sorry,
my childhood is taking over.
I like it.
But yeah, Tommy Ryan's still out here. That's 47 laps on the thing, and he's still running 25.7s. Now, yeah, I mean, JP's running 23.7.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, he wasn't going to win the race off pure speed. He's going to be horrendously behind once he eventually does come down pit road if there is no caution. So, I don't know. Again, I applaud it. Nice try, but just a little bit of insight there.
Well, here's your real question. So, Tommy is 29 seconds. So, he's a lap and a bit ahead of JP Phillips. You know, even at a second a lap, that's closing. 25 laps to go. If Tommy can make it on fuel...
I don't know. That's going to be...
Because we said after 15 laps that their times are already starting to slow down.
Yeah.
So that delta is probably going to just get closer and closer. That's...
Well, at a track like Rockingham, 24 laps is... It feels like an eternity, so he's still going to have to, pray for something, because he's just put Chris Bouchard now a lap down. So that's everybody a lap down.
Yeah, and you can see Chris is just barely keeping that car on the track.
There's JP there. He's about to get his lap back. And he's going to get by pretty easily here. No issue. Smart to not fight him. No reason to. So now just under 25 seconds. We'll see what JP can do. If he is trying to stretch it, it's gonna be tough.
Well, the other thing is even if he can't make it to the end, let's say he makes it to 10 to go, and there's a caution with 10 to go.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He's got a fresh set of tires, and I want to say they're limited to 2 or 3 sets.
I believe it was 4 when I saw, if I read it correctly. I believe they have 4, and they've already used. Well, we've already had
first set of the car, second, third.
So I believe Tommy Ryan has 2 left, and everyone else has 1. I believe.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
21 laps, 22-second gap. So if he can make it in You know, it's about a second a lap. Lap after lap, it's about a second a lap.
He's still gonna just try to pray for caution, I guess. I mean, that's gonna be the key either way. Just a caution will kind of, I'm not gonna say make things simpler, but you know, at that point we're gonna know probably everybody's gonna pit for tires. It'll just be a little bit different in the order right here.
Bouchard still hasn't pitted either. You know, these guys are going 55, 54 laps. So, yeah.
If he wants to catch him on pure pace, he's going to have to continue to gain at least a second a lap, which he has been doing. Let's see, 24.2 compared to a 25.6. So there's almost a second and a half there.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, so, you know, you got Black Magic Motorsports, which is Chris Bouchard, Jeff Ron, JP Phillips, Justin Kirby, Tommy Ron, and Trevor Hunt. All those guys down in the same chat room together. So whatever they're doing, you know they're talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, there's only 1.3, so a little bit better there. 18 seconds with 17 to go. I mean, it's gonna be close.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely now. And the other thing is Tommy just saving tires.
Could be.
Driving it a little easier. And if JP's having to push like hell, you know, does he get 5 seconds away and Tommy goes, time to drop the hammer?
Yeah, I mean, that's very possible.
It's one of those things, like, when you don't do it every time, it's hard to know what these guys are thinking.
I mean,
yeah, 1.2 that lap. I mean, it's 16 seconds, 16 laps. It's just like those two are just staying together. 15 laps to go, 15 seconds.
It's also really cool to me that of all tracks to do this, Rockingham of all places to try to save tires and stretch, that's amazing.
You know, also, there's 7 cars between the 22 and the 99.
That is true, so...
You know, he could get stuck behind Jeff Ron.
Yep.
You know, and Jeff pitted at 165.
What he'd really be hoping for is he wished, like, Andrew Ratcliffe or Grady Gherkin was close. I mean, Ratcliffe, don't write him off, too. I mean, he is 1 second back, and right there he just ran a 10th faster, so it's not just Ryan trying to save. It's also Ratcliffe trying to catch the back of the 22 of Phillips to try to run him down as well.
Because if Ron can make it on fuel, you know, sure, he may lose to JP, but take him second. You know,
exactly.
On a strategy that, you know, I mean, is it dangerous? Yeah. But if you're confident in your driving and you know these guys are going to run green, you know, 13 more laps, you're praying that nobody screws up.
Mm-hmm. And that lap, Ratcliffe was about 0.2 faster than Phillips as well, and it's now nearing half a second.
And the other thing is, if he comes in for tires, so does JP, so does Andrew. Because otherwise, you know, you're giving up. They've already run their best out of those tires. They're going to give up a half a second, and you're just going to walk away from them. Because Tommy will still come into the pits first. You know, so even if you jump him by a position or two, you know, by staying out, you know, he's only going to be in 6th or 7th. You know, if the guys in the lead lap stay out.
And I mean, I would have to fully understand the rules here once again, but I mean, if we were to work with like the wave around rules as well, if everybody from 6th to 11th wants to get the wave around, all the lead lap cars would need to pit. So, which I would imagine they would. And then they all pit, and then all the guys who were a lap down will pit then as well, but they'll just restart at the tail end.
Yep. They would, they would go around one extra lap, and I guess get in and get out and try to not go a lap down. But also, did you just notice what, it's not sunny.
That's another thing. Oh, I never thought of that. That's wild. Okay, and only 1 second difference now, so...
Track tipped down to 83, you know, it's now almost 2 o'clock here.
Now, does that favor any of the drivers? Does that favor Ryan or Phillips? I don't know. It's tough to tell because we haven't seen these conditions right now. So that probably has changed the handling on these
8
guys'
laps to
cars
go.
quite a bit.
7.9 seconds.
It is going to be unbelievably close.
You know.
Obviously, these drivers passing the 99, I mean, I'm not going to say that's not helpful, but I mean, even think about it. When they get in front, he can maybe get their draft a little bit, so that could help as well.
Yeah. You know, pull them along a little bit quicker. I mean,
Yep.
you see that now. 0.9 that
8/10.
one lap. 1/8. Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's gonna if there's gonna be a pass, it's gonna be within the last 3 laps. That's for sure.
Oh, no. It's okay. There we go. I guess Tommy
wow.
running it to the very end, waiting, hoping for that caution that never came.
He tried, man.
But that
Tough
is,
deal.
let's see here. Where is Ryan? 68 laps on a stint there. I mean, that's
Heck,
27 longer than anybody else, with the exception of
mean,
Richard.
I really like. I mean, good stuff there. Just ultimately did not quite work out. So tough deal. But that gives Phillips the lead here, trying to start the season off perfect with 2 wins in 2 races.
And they were down and running 25.6s. Yeah, he probably did not have quite enough fuel.
Nah, just not quite. He probably was hoping he saved enough, but 5 laps, 5 miles. I believe the track is a mile in length, so just 5 miles too short.
Maybe should have put that 750 CFM carb, not the 850 on.
Well, that'll do it as well, as it looks like he's going to come back off of pit road in P9 1 lap down. But, I mean, he's going to have really fast, really good tires. So, really be able to pass the other car in front here. It'll be close, but 3 laps to go, and Ratcliffe has unfortunately not been able to close the gap on Phillips.
No, that gap is 1.6 now. Grady's falling off the back of Ratcliffe as well. He's 5 seconds back. Justin Kirby another 5 seconds back. So, yeah. I mean, it only took a 60-lap run to spread these guys out.
Of course, you know, pit stops change everything.
Oh, absolutely. But, ooh. Little wiggle there out of Grady. Looks like a phantom netcode hit against the wall.
Well, either way, it's been a heck of a job for Phillips as he is on the last lap here, looking to take the checkered with a 2.5 lead over Andrew Ratcliffe, and he's going to start the year perfect.
Now let's see him come around here through the digger. And there we go. JP Phillips taking your checkered flag here tonight. Andrew Ratcliffe will be taking home second. And Grady Gherkin.
Ryan, oh, photo finish at the end. Oh, he didn't get him. Oh, by 2 1,000ths of a second.
Oh, it was.
How about that?
He was going for it.
Tried it. Heck of a job, though. Well done by all the drivers. Good race, good strategy. That was a lot of fun.
Looks like that is everybody here. So let's pull up our results. And then these guys should hop over into the waiting for interview lounge here. Or I'll have to pull them one of the two. Come on. Show me the results.
Oh, Simmons, look out. Pit entry. There you go.
Are you just not going to cooperate, SDK? You're going to show me everything but the results.
Yes.
Oh, it's not registering Stouffer, so it's going to have to time out here in a second. That's why it's holding up the results. No? Let's see. There we go. It finally pops up. So JP Phillips taking the win here tonight. Andrew Ratcliffe 1.3 seconds back in second. Grady Gherkin's going to be finishing out your podium there. Justin Kirby in fourth. Jeff Byers in fifth. Jake Lotion sixth. Scott Bolster in seventh. Jeff Ryan in eighth. Tommy Ryan in ninth. Tim Glass in 10th. Chris Bouchard in 11th. Matthew Simmons in 12th. And Chris Stauffer in 13th. So let's try to find some of these guys here. Let's me find Mr. Gherkin and drop him in here. Tyler, why don't you take this one away?
All right, Grady. It is Tyler and John. You got us.
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, what a race for you there. P3 here, about 8 seconds back from JP there. Good run for you guys overall here. Take us through your race overall.
Yeah, qualified, I think, about mid-pack or so. Actually, it was fourth. Just tried to get going there and settle in, but then I got on the brakes hard. I was going into turn one behind Andrew, and I had to get the brakes a little harder. Kind of got out of shape, and then instead of trying to overcorrect it and cause mayhem there, I kind of gave her some gas, tried to get off the track out of the way. I think a couple guys got hit in there, but nothing too bad, I don't think. Then just kind of tried to bounce back and get back up towards the front. It was easy to burn these tires off. It got real tight.
Yeah, we definitely showed you changing the lines up a little bit here and there.
That's what I was going to ask you next, especially because of how strategy full this race was here. Tell me what it was like trying to balance these tires, because they seemed like they were a handful.
Yeah. If you you could easily burn up the fronts. You know, I had decent pace early and was fast, but I knew I was going to pay the price on the back end of it. Justin Kirby's got a line here that works really good on a long run. So I would try to mimic that a couple times, and I couldn't get a good feel on it. But yeah, just changing lines around, trying to run the bottom, try to run the top, see what kind of felt better for the car, where it would do more of the work, as opposed to me putting more wheel into it. So it got tightened up that last run there too. Like, there was no way I was going to catch JP or Andrew. So then I just tried to manage my gap to Justin and try to get on the podium. So,
did you think Tommy had any chance of making it to the end there?
I was definitely worried that Tommy was going to make it to the end. And then I was trying to figure out where he was too. So I was kind of checking some different, some of the standings and relatives, and I put it in the wall in turn one. I don't know if you guys caught that or not.
I think we saw a little. I thought it was a little phantom hit, but
I definitely got the wall riding the entry to turn one there for a minute because I wasn't paying attention to the track instead of the stats. So, but all in all, it was a pretty good night. I hate anytime I spin out in front of the field like that, so apologies to anybody that got caught up in that.
Well, Grady, it was a good race for you there. Congrats on the P3. Any quick shout outs you'd like to give before we send you?
Shout out to Andrew. Good second place for him. Shout out to Jacob and Tim, teammates. We have fun in here and try to enjoy it going around here with these guys. Everybody running the league, appreciate them coming out too. Trying to get our car counts up. So, you know, anybody out there watching wants to jump in and race, go ahead and get a hold of Scott Bolster. He's the one that puts it on, and he does a great job. So, and then of course, shout out to you guys, because we always watch these things and enjoy it.
Well, we appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good, Grady. We appreciate it, and congrats on the P3.
Thanks, fellas.
Pull Grady out of there. Pull second place Andrew Ratcliffe. And Tyler, if you take these away, I'm about losing my voice. So I'll just sit back and run the other parts of this.
No, you're good. Andrew, it's John and Tyler in the booth. You got us.
Yes, sir.
Well, that was a pretty wild race for you there. You were one of the, I'll say one of the second best cars there. JP just seemed so good there, but you gave him a challenge there, especially towards the end there. So take us through your progression of the race, and do you think you maybe had enough to run down Phillips there at the end?
Well, it's encouraging to be in second here. Early in the race, I was driving, I guess, too easy, because typically abrasive racetrack like this, the car falls off, but it just didn't for whatever reason. And I kind of realized there, I guess I'm just gonna have to start driving it harder. So, um, the the last restart we had, I drove it a little bit harder. Probably not super hard, but I drove it hard, and Grady got by me, and I was in third for a while, just kind of saving, and I ended up getting back by Grady, but before we really had time, and I was running JP down. It went from 2.3 to 1.8, but it was time we short pitted and it kind of killed it. Then I started driving the crap out of the car, and I kept pace and even ran him down. And I got it to 0.6 of a second, and then his teammate uh, didn't get out of the way, which he has the right to race. And I don't think I could have gotten by him cleanly anyway, just because there was just not enough fall off. But very encouraging to be second after a very frustrating Xfinity season.
Yeah, good run overall there. One thing I want to point out, especially where it seemed like, I mean, you mentioned there one of the drivers not seeming to help you get close to JP there at the end, but something that I did notice was that the track did change. There seemed to be a lot more shade once we got close to the end there. Was that maybe a little bit of a factor as well as you maybe not getting as close as you can to win?
I don't know. I don't think so. I really just think it was more of me driving. I was going 100% it there for those 30 laps. I mean, I hit the wall a couple times, just trying to run him down, and I didn't really even notice the shade. I'm sure it may have cooled it off a little bit and gripped it up slightly, but I was just trying to drive the ever living crap out of the car, which is not something I tend to be good at. I'm more typically a tire saver. JP was just on rails tonight. He runs these a lot, and he's going to probably be the guy to beat this year.
Well, good stuff for you there, Andrew. Any quick shout outs you'd like to give there before we send you off?
Shout out to the guys that consistently run. We've struggled getting new members, but I'm glad it's these 13. It's overall a clean show. It's not a caution fest, and I really love these cars. I don't. It's just it seems like we have the same issue that we had with the Chevy SS and Ford Fusion Gen 4, not Gen 4, Gen 6 League, the original Gen 6, like the 2014 package where it was high horsepower. It's just people can't handle them, and it's good that I just shout out to the whole league really for consistently showing up and putting on good shows, and looking forward for the rest of the season.
Well, Andrew, we really appreciate your time there. Congrats on the P2, and we'll see you next race.
Yeah, guys. Thanks for broadcast.
No problem. That was third or second place, Andrew Ratcliffe. We'll bring our race winner in here, JP, and Tyler, take it away.
Well, JP, it's Tyler and John here in the booth. You got us.
I got you guys.
Well, congrats, JP, there. That is now 2 for 2 to start the year. Great run for you guys. You guys looked really dominant this whole race here. Led a lot there, but not without maybe a little bit of a scare there with Tommy almost making it to the end there on fuel. Take us through your race and maybe how nervous you were there, thinking whether you were able to run down the 99 or not.
Yeah, first of all, I love this place. So just to get out and run is a blast. This place, and I only know one way to run it too, and that is just flat out. It seems like if I try to back off and save tires, I end up burning the right front off of it every time. So the only way I know to run it is just to go out there and run hard. Yeah, so pretty good race, and I knew I thought maybe we got that caution flag at halfway. They were 75 to go, and I thought maybe somebody in the back might pedal it and try to go. And as Tommy kept staying out there, and he kept out there, and we got to like 10 to go, and we was closing in. I knew it was going to be close anyway, and yeah, I was starting to get worried, and I was putting down qualifying laps as hard as I could go, trying to catch him. I think I was about a lap faster than he was, and I think when he pitted with 9 or 8 to go or whatever it was, we had about 8 or 9 seconds to catch him. So glad he pitted. I tell you, Andrew was fast the last half of the race too. I think he was actually catching us there right before the last pit stop, so I wanted to make sure I got out in front of him. And then I did not even want him to get close to me or even sniff the lead. So the last 33 laps, I literally ran qualifying laps every lap. So just glad to keep it out of the wall and stay up front. So they made me work for it the last half of the race, but man, I love this place.
Well, I just mentioned it there at the start there. You are now 2 for 2, winning both Daytona and here. I mean, you just said you love this place, and I mean, Daytona was wild there at the end, resulting in the win there. How confident are you feeling rest of the season? Do you feel like you guys are going to be the team to beat?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. The next 3 out of the 4 races would not. I wouldn't put at the top of my list. I know there's some guys out there that run the short tracks a little better than I do. So Richmond, Bristol, and then for whatever reason, Texas is usually not that great. So we get through the next 4 races, and if we can hang around somewhere close to the top, then I feel pretty good from there on out. So I think we'll give them a run for their money. But there's some fast guys out there. I know Andrew will be fast. Grady's always fast. Justin, if Tommy sticks around, that dude is super fast. You're not going to beat him very many times. So it'll be fun. It always is fun. I love racing these cars, and Scott did a really good job with the setup tonight too. This was probably the most stable Gen 4 car that I've run at Rockingham as far as rear grip off the corner. So you could really attack the exit, which made it a lot of fun. It was a little snug in the center, a little snug on entry, but man, you could really hammer the thing off the corners.
Well, good stuff overall for you, JP. Any quick shout outs you'd like to give here before he sends you off celebrate the win?
Yeah, just a shout out to all the guys that participate. Man, this is a great group. I hope we can keep it together here and add a few more people to it, because it's a lot of fun racing these cars, and racing these cars with this group of guys makes it really fun. So thank you guys again. Listened to the broadcast last week there sometime during the middle of the week. You guys do a great job, so appreciate that. And again, thanks to Scott for putting the thing on and a pretty good setup here tonight.
Well,
No
JP,
problem.
we really appreciate your time here. Obviously, good race for you there. Dominant overall and looking to keep it going. So congrats on the win, and we'll see you next race.
All right, thanks guys. Have a good evening.
All right, well, that was your winner, JP Phillips. Let's pull the finishing order back up here. JP Phillips taking the win. Andrew Ratcliffe in second. Grady Gherkin in third. Justin Kirby in fourth. Jeff Byers in fifth. Jake Loesch in sixth. Scott Bolster in seventh. Jeff Ron in eighth. Tommy Ron in ninth. Tim Glass in 10th. That's a little bit of a tongue twister. Chris Bouchard in 11th. Matthew Simmons in 12th. Chris Stouffer in 13th. And then I think we have... Nope, that's it to finish. So, from everyone here at Core, we hope you catch you for GT on Thursday night. And remember to keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down, and we will see you on the track.